everybody, how you doing? This is Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Car Chronicles. How you guys doing? You doing all right? Well, let's get started. You know, I have a lot of conversation with people that are wanting to help loved ones when it comes to them being in a narcissistic situationship. And many people want to know, how do I help them? What do I say? You know, you can't force help on anyone. When a person is ready, they'll start looking for information. A lot of times you'd be surprised that they're watching videos that you're posting on your social media. That means that you don't have to cram it down their throat. You don't have to, think about how you got out of the situation. For someone to try to force you to get out of it, to try to force you to understand, to try to force you while you are in your season of denial, because hope is the last thing to go. And so it took a while for you to comprehend, to register, to get the revelation, to get the aha, to get the epiphany, and sometimes you have to allow people to go through what they have to go through in order them to finally escape from it. It's okay to plant a seed, but then you're not the one that's supposed to go try to make it grow. You can water the seed, but the watering of the seed may be to post stuff on your social media and you know that they're watching. Don't do it with the expectation that I'm going to focus just on you, because then you'll make a mistake, because they'll know when you're focusing just on them. But you would be surprised that, you have family and friends that are on your social media that are watching the videos that you're reposting. That's why I tell you guys, repost these videos. If you have someone that you enjoy following, whether it's me, tells you with the T on MPD, Apostle Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, whoever it is that you watch, Dr. Romani, she's a professional in the academic, in the academia. She is in the colleges, in the, professional realm of colleges and education, where she's bringing it to you from an educational perspective. I'm a therapist and I work in these, I'm experienced with it. I'm a therapist that works with people that are coming out of it. I'm a coach. I'm a day-to-day person that people talk to. And so I may not bring it the same way that other people bring it. I try to use layman terms. I was in the military. So one thing we learned in the military is to break things down to a 7th and 8th grade level. Some people may not like my style of delivery. So you find someone else that, it resonates with you. But, you post those videos, because you never know which video is it that resonates with the person that you're trying to help. You can't force them to change. You can't force them to see something that you see. And that 9 times out of 10, it's the people on the outside that can see what's going on the inside. Even you yourself. People have asked the question, how is it that everybody else can see it but me? Because you're the person that is in the relationship with the person. They have groomed you. They have abused you. And the thing about it is that they have worked on your pain tolerance. And so where you are not sensitive anymore and you're kind of callous, people on the outside are still looking, and they can detect when there's danger. I always say that you stay in it long enough, it'll get to a point where your GPS system is dull, because it's like putting your clock on a snooze. You keep hitting a snooze, you're going to be late. Eventually, you keep hitting snooze, you become immune to the sound of the alarm. You'll sleep right through the alarm because you're accustomed to it. Likewise, the same thing with the red flags and dealing with these narcissists that are grooming you, that are training you, that are positively or negatively reinforcing, power and control over you. You become desensitized to the dangers of being with that narcissist, and you'll blow it off by, she's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything, where you'll even miss certain things that they're saying, key words that they're saying before disaster happens. And it's the people on the outside, but you're kind of immune to it because he or she hasn't done anything in all these years. They're not going to do anything. They're a bunch of talk, but the hope is the last thing to go. And one of the hardest things for people that are in the mental health field, people that are in coaching, even friends and family, is to start explaining to them what it is that they're experiencing. For example, when you're trying to explain to them about trauma bonding, when you're trying to explain to them about gaslighting, when you're trying to explain to them about the narcissist abuse cycle, you remember the idealization, the devaluation, the discard, the Hoover, and you're explaining everything that happens in between. What the gaslighting looks like. You're explaining to them gaslighting. You're explaining to them projection. Because a lot of people think about it, this narcissist is projecting on them, and they're taking everything that they're saying as their own thoughts, as their own. And so they think that this is how they think until you ask them, were you thinking like that before? Were you thinking like that prior to them telling you to think that way? No, because they're projecting their thoughts on you. So to try to explain to someone, to try to educate someone, is one of the hardest things that you do, because there are some people that can, even people that are watching the videos, sometimes they've watched the video for 2 and 3 years before they finally make a decision to go, before it finally registers. That's why one thing that I love about the military is about repetition. They'll keep training on the same thing over and over and over and over again, repetitiously, until it becomes a habit, or it is a action that is taken without thought. For example, in the military, one of the things that all of us learn, well, you guys heard of hope some of you guys have heard of combat lifesavers. These are specifically people that are trained to do first aid on the battlefield prior to medics arriving. And we also learn, even if you're not a combat lifesaver, we still learn the ABCs of first aid. First aid before the combat lifesaver comes, before the combat medic comes, before medical personnel come. ABC, and I think A is airway, B is bleeding, and C is circulation and treat for shock. A, airway, B, bleeding, C, circulation, and treat for shock. Those are the ABCs of first aid for those of us. Now think about it. You teach them that, and we used to go out in the field and we used to do our trainings. We still implemented that, and it became a habit, so that when things happen, those like acronyms, those things are running through the head of the soldier, where it becomes second nature to do it without having to think about what am I supposed to do. There's a plan in place. Now, just like with what is it called? Chemical warfare, chemical biological warfare, where we used to don the MOP gear. Those of you that are in the military know exactly what I'm talking about. The MOP gear with the face, the protective covering, the boots, the gloves, and everything. Well, there was also a process, a system that you followed. Even though we knew that in the event of a nuclear attack, people are not going to survive. So it doesn't matter what you do, but it gives a plan. It gives hope. You see what I mean? It gives hope, and it gives you a plan to follow through. Well, likewise, when you're dealing with a person that has been through narcissist abuse and you're trying to help them, sometimes you're giving them that, not sometimes, but you're giving them that information. It's going to be up to them when to apply that information, when to use that information. And the more they see it, the more repetitious you are to teach about the same thing over and over and over. For some of you, you get frustrated because you're like, well, how many times do I have to teach you the exact same thing? And you keep doing the exact same thing. How many times do I teach you about something? You keep going back, and then you come to me and you're telling me you don't understand. I've already said it 1,000 times. Well, for some of you, you're like, but what did I tell you last time? I've already told you about this. It's not like they don't know. It's almost like, and some of you understand, it's almost like I'm going to try to prove you wrong because I just don't believe it. I can't believe it because, there are so many good things about this person. And like I said the other day when I was talking to someone, they were like, well, there's so many good things about this person. When it's good is good, when it's bad is bad. But there are a lot of good things. Well, you can't just throw a hook in the water and expect for a fish to bite. You got to put something over there to bait the fish, right? So, of course, a narcissist can't walk around. Now, some of them, it comes out. It's almost like that alien on Men in Black that was a giant roach. And, he was trying his best to try to walk around, but his head was shaking and everything. He was trying to hold it in, but you could tell that there was something wrong with him. His face was all, you could tell something was wrong with some of those narcissists are like that. Some of those overt. The lower narcissists are like that because they're trying to fit in. They're trying to make this work. They're trying to pull people in. So of course that narcissist understands how to bait people in there. You can't walk around hateful and mean all the time. You can't bait anybody in there. You can't get anybody to you. Some people are attracted to the pain, and that's what they get pulled into. But your narcissist has to have some kind of way to pull you in. When they start to love bomb you again, or if they've discarded you and they start to hoover, there's got to be something to bait you in. So of course, so it's not when it's good is good and when it's bad is bad. No, when it's good, he's love bombing or she's love bombing. That's why it's so good, because you're getting your fix. You're getting your high. But ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are working in this field, whether you're a therapist, whether you're a coach, those of you that are family members that are trying to help someone, sometimes if you keep running behind them, try to stuff information in their face or try to make them understand, they don't want to be around you either, and you'll lose them. So your best bet, if they're following your social media, you don't have to say much. Just keep posting the videos. Sometimes the things that you think that they're not going to pay attention to is the very thing that they're paying attention to because they're going through it at that time. So just repost videos. They're listening. It just takes time for it to register. And that takes a while. That can be frustrating. That can be painful for the person trying.